when you grow up in Greece, is there an awareness of the history of the country? Now, every country they are trying to do the same to all of them
No,
and standardize them.
not much.
No?
It's unfortunately, it's one of the sad things about my culture. That's a new generation, including my generation somehow. We never had this kind of education or kind of, you know, yeah, like motivation to research more about the culture, the medicine. This is one thing for me that I've been researching the last 20 years. And not so much because I'm more into Chinese medicine more. It's the Greek medicine. It's amazing what the culture had, what the wisdom of these elderly people like that we lost it since Christianity invaded Greece.
Yeah, because in terms of even in terms of philosophy, when you get a little disappointed with the Western model, you very quick go into Eastern
Yes.
philosophies. But sometimes I remember when I studied in university or in high school all the Greek philosophers. Later on in life, I thought, oh, maybe I did the jump into the East too quickly, because if you study Plato, if you look at the vast wealth of knowledge and also medicine that the Greek have is amazing.
You look in all the Asclepios centers. You know, Asclepios was the shaman of Greek medicine. It was no Hippocrates. Asclepios was the magician. You know, he used to have these places with the theater inside, with the gazing the sun, with many medicine plants, fasting, detoxing, and touch. That was the whole culture, the whole medical somehow approach of him. And still now, you know, there's so many places that you can go and worship that, and you see there are people, and especially the people taking care of these monuments. The mindset is completely out of all this, you know.
And there is not like a thread of people who are maintaining
There, they
some
are,
of it,
there,
even if it's not
there
officially.
are, there
Yeah.
are a lot. There is a lot, but the majority is completely sleeping.
Does it have a name or is it?
No, I mean, you know, it's one of my teachers that I studied Chinese medicine. He was a doctor and he went to China 35 years ago, 30 years ago, and he got cured by migraines. And then he started studying Chinese medicine because he said, I don't want to treat people with conventional medicine anymore. And he started researching, and then he found out that Tibetan medicine, that's according to many doctors that they've studied deeply all this kind of Ayurveda, Chinese medicine. Anyway, Tibetan medicine is one of the most complete medicine because they've mixed Greek, Ayurvedic, and Chinese medicine.
Greek?
Yes.
Uh-huh. How did
So
the Greek medicine arrive in Tibet?
my teacher brings Tibetan scholars in Athens and teaching us Greek medicine.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it's incredible. Third, 400 after Christ, this happened. Because it's the latest one, yeah, that they form the medicine. So, and if you go, you see the way that the diagnosis, that try your urine, they take one drop of your urine, the doctors in Tibet. And that's how Galinos and
Okay.
many doctors in the ancient Greek used to do.
Also, I was seeing a video about urine, but as a medicine, on how your urine is actually containing the information, like you say, but
Yes.
also the solution in one way
Yes,
to yourself.
yes.
Yeah.
It's the best medicine. One of my very good friend, he's 67 and is one of the most amazing to see how he knows all of these kind of secrets with supplements, with this, with that. He recently had a high blood pressure and he stopped the pill after 2 months because he took it in the beginning. He wanted to test to see what's going on. And then slowly he came out, and the thing he does, he ferments his urine, not even fresh.
Yes,
I
I
used to
heard
drink
that.
it fresh, me. I used to
Okay.
do that in Thailand for many years.
Okay.
And it's great. But this guy, he fermented for 10 days and then he getting half teaspoon every morning. I try it. It's disgusting. You put it in your room and stings everywhere. You know, your morning urine, you don't even smell them.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It has the stems of your information of your body and it gives you exactly what you need. All that
Okay.
kind of we excrete and we need is still in the urine.
Would he do it when he's healthy or
No,
just?
he's doing it now for the high blood pressure and
Okay.
he's say incredible results. He does many other things
Yeah.
to lower his high blood pressure, but this is he found that the most incredible tool for that and for many other things.
Yeah. I'm in the beginning of kind of looking into it, but it seems like
It's an amazing
reliable source. It's also not new. It's like really.
It's very old.
Yeah.
No, it's ancient. It's pro Jesus, pro Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Greek medicine, Chinese medicine. It's also there. Yeah, in India, there was this the minister of health. I remember 10 years ago, and they asked him, was 92-year-old, and they asked him, what is your secret? And he say, urine therapy. Yeah, it's a great. There is so many alternative
The
ways.
feeling that so many of our solutions are hiding in plain sight is overwhelming. Yeah, it's like we have created kind of such a successful civilization in hiding things behind veils when they were just so simple, or they are so simple.
We took a wrong direction, I think, 100 years ago, using oil as synthetic tool to make medicine instead of other things that we had. And they have been forbidden, they have been hidden, they have been illegal, as we know.
Yeah. What has been your journey, like looking at health and healing and body work? What do you start with, and how has it been?
The first most important thing for me was food and diet.
Okay.
I grew up in a big Greek family. Like when I finished school, my father built this big house in Athens, and we were living with my aunties, my uncles, my grandparents, my sister, boyfriend, daughter,
Like in the
and
movies.
me. Yeah, and in the movies. And it's funny because half of my family was in the diet, and every couple of months they will change the diet. And me, I grew up with my grandmother and my auntie that they were incredible cooks. So I was so, I knew how to cook since I was 5 years old. And so I started studying more about Western diet and more Western kind of nutrition when I was 18, 19. And then I met this woman. She was young. I was young. I was 18. And then I fall in love after with her father, was my first teacher. And he was teaching Tai Chi and Vipassana meditation. So that was my starting point with all of this.
So young, eh?
I was 23. So young, I met the girl, but I was with the girl 5 years, but the girl didn't want me to go close to the dad. They were a very big hippie family from Thailand that they have find themselves in Greece. It's a big story. And yeah, I was blessed. I was super lucky. And through her, it's a new life for me. I was in a very kind of not classic Greek family. Business, my father make money, but he was not a good businessman. He was a very good man. So he was always big failure. Of course, it was some success, but and for me, it was not my path. I was never keen of making money. And then this came in my life. And then when I was 23, after training a bit with him in Athens, I decided to go to Thailand to learn about food. You understand? Was and meditation. But the massage was never really there so much.
Okay, so you didn't go straight to Chiang Mai?
No, I went straight to Chiang Mai and I was waking up 6 o'clock and going and learn about vegetarian Thai food.
Okay, also delicious over there.
That was and then also, yes, I had this also kind of inquiry to go to Madak Chia, this place in Chiang Mai, where I went, but...
Did you meet him in person?
I met him in person, but I was not really keen into this community. They had some interesting things to learn, but very macho, money, woman abusing, it was for me very clear. And I was lucky because I had met my teacher also, Sokananda, in Thailand. And that was a completely different background, yeah? So, and it took me 7 months to go to Madakchia Ashram. And then when I went, I had already went for Vipassana for 10 days. And then I went there and it was like all about money, like looking nice, learn about be good in sex. It was all this for me was not really what I was.
Okay, I had not pictured it that way. Somehow,
It's a
when
very...
I see Mantak Chia, I mean, maybe not because he's older, but to me he looks like an academic. So I always thought it would be like more like dry and boring and kind of thing. I didn't put two and two together with this kind of image. Okay.
No, he was like bringing a lot of wisdom of this ancient Taoist wisdom of longevity and sex and the meditation of the Tao. But, it was missing really the spiritual value of find yourself. And things that for me was like a more necessary and more kind of, I was more keen to that. Practice Vipassana and stay in the hill tribe village in Thailand and learning massage after. But in the beginning, coming back to your question, I went to Thailand, food. And in the second year that I went back with the desire of learning massage, I went and I found this amazing woman, Dr. Ruyan, had this clinic called Mungala in Chiang Mai. And I started learning the foundation of Chinese medicine with her, like the principles, the elements, And that was also, again, by searching more deeply into the food and understanding the 5-element energetics. And then slowly, massage was coming. I was coming back to Europe, study shiatsu in Switzerland. I went 3 times in Kental. And I was thinking to do the whole thing, but then, Thai massage pulled me more into that direction. My teacher also told me that, okay, why don't you start teaching Thai massage? And I said, wow. But I was never really think that I will do that in my life, teaching Thai massage and doing Thai massage. So food was for me. And still, you see now I am a lot into this.
But somehow you do not have like a previous profession or career and you arrived to this in the middle of your
No,
life. It was really
I did
from...
few...
Yeah, but this was your first vocation almost,
Yes,
yeah.
that was my journey
Beautiful.
start when I was 23, 24. Before I was working with my dad, had a restaurant with my mother. And because my dad was working with constructions, I did a course for a year about interior design. No, I was kind of spoiled child. Was the first boy in the whole family. My aunties has no kids, 3 aunties, no kids. So imagine, only my mother had kids, no aunties kids, no. And I arrived and I was really like, okay, I had like 10 adults on top of me with a spoon feeding me
The
and
prince.
the prince.
The prince of the house.
Yeah, but it's what I mean. I was so lucky to go out of that because I was never really happy. I grew up quite not wealthy, but comfortable. I had a car, girlfriends, but it was never giving me satisfied. As a child, always I had this kind of phases of going through a bit of depression, a bit of not manic, but in the summer, I was always like, and the things I was doing and try to really, I was never giving me deep satisfaction. And actually, food was the thing that I was always interested to study and learn, but
And also in Chinese medicine, the food is also an important part,
yes,
or at least healing with herbs and all that.
yes,
So it's kind of
yes. And then
classical.
I studied in Athens because I met this amazing doctor that he just opened a school in 2004, 2005 was the first season. And then Carrie got pregnant. Then I stopped traveling. And then I said, okay, I wanted to go and do a degree in osteopathy. Thanks God I didn't, in a way. And then I did that degree with him for 3 years of herbs and acupuncture and diet, nutrition in Athens.
Okay.
So that was the time that I had routine in my life from 2004 2008. And then Yanis and Jaya came. We were living in Greece. And then the crisis came and the whole thing. It was very intense in Greece with the refugees from Syria and the crisis of economical crisis. And we said, okay, let's move out. And thanks God we arrived in Portugal.
Yeah. But with this approach between herbs and taking care of your diet and taking care of the energy flow in your body, how much of the normal diseases and illnesses that we have, and how much of the oil medicine we can substitute with just a little bit of self-awareness and care, yeah? And that is not given as a subject in our schools, that is not passed on from generation to generation. Even now, when I was visiting my parents last time, my mom and my aunt were talking about how my grandmother had all this knowledge, but none of them have it. They didn't think it was valuable, so they moved on. For my mother and my father, I think now it's changing, but the doctor was God, whatever the doctor said was so...
The doctor, the teacher, and the priest. Welcome to Greece. You understand? Yeah, but sometimes I say to the groups, to all the friends, that we are made up to live more than 100 years. Like, if you think we're coming here already carrying information from 28 ancestors. Like, I have information from my mother and seven generations back, and from my father.
And you mean that biologically?
Biological, nothing metaphysical. There's no spiritual things now. We're talking about physics, science. So you're coming here with so much pain. If you think the last 150 years, what humanity has experienced is just pain.
Take the
abuse.
last 1,500 is the
No,
same.
let's say what we know. Of course, there's the DNA carrying, but what we really know fresh is there. And what we do, we come in here with cesarean dissection, a lot of abuse already as we are in the belly. And then, artificial milk from crazy cows and food that we have no idea, and vaccinations. And even though we live and we are strong and we have, strong genes.
Resilience,
Resilience. And then imagine if we had come here and we started working with our telepathic, intuitive skills, connecting with the plants, eating the right food, eating for health, not for 5-minute pleasure, that we do most of the time. And what kind of level of consciousness, and if we really need any artificial medicine, drugs,
Like, sometimes you can consider there is in terms of emergency.
And this is
this constant...
This is good. I don't agree. My grandfather died 57 with heart attack. And maybe if he was more advanced medical system, we would have been living. And I'm on that. I don't say no.
Well, for emergencies, it's amazing.
Everything is amazing, but the thing, the emergency too, why it's happening? Because we are not present, because we are beating ourselves. So you go out, you take your car. Are you present? Are you driving? No, you are somewhere else. So you're having a crash. Yes, we call that emergency. But that's what I mean. We've had the right education and we have grown up in a completely different setup. You will not take the car, first of all, to drive like maniac, and you will be fully aware of what's going on.
Why do you think it's so difficult to maintain presence? You started with Vipassana. I remember starting also with Vipassana in my mid-20s. And I remember the shock of the first retreat. I was not aware that I was so crazy. And that just put a mirror in front of me where I realized, damn, how unstable my ability to guide my attention, to guide where my energy goes is. Why do you think it's so scattered? Why is it so difficult to be present?
Because we are so conditioned. We have so many layers and memories. You're sitting here and a thought comes, and is it your thought? That's one realization. Is that thought mine? Where it comes from? What makes me? Where it takes me? How lost I can go? So there are so many thoughts and so much trauma that we carry because we grow up in a very traumatic situation. So it's so difficult, and especially if you don't have the support of the Sangha, the community, the friends, to maintain that kind of awareness and stay calm and soft and gentle and present. So it is very difficult, and I've been practicing meditation for many years, but again, I feel I'm a beginner. You know what I mean?
If someone hadn't practiced, I know there's so many different entrances for it, but how would you describe meditation? I had these conversations this morning with someone that was asking me that question, but what is meditation?
Meditation is, it's so many ways to see it, but it's again the awareness of the insanity that exists within you. The reminding somehow of your Godhead also inside you, this essence that we are. Because usually we are so lost into this material wealth and, desire and whatever, through the senses, through whatever. But to describe it in a way that is kind of awareness, awareness of that duality, of that separation, observation of the monkey mind and the indulgence of this attachment to the monkey mind. It's a moment-to-moment awareness, I would say.
But that word, that indulgement, it's somehow in there. I like that you used it because it implies some sort of decision or some sort of letting go of a decision, some sort of lack of care, maybe in a way. Like in that moment, you just say, I don't know how to pinpoint it, but it's in meditation what you train is to return to presence even though it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
In many ways, yeah.
There is, you see, I said about Vipassana, I'm not really going so much into this Vipassana right now in my life. You know, I'm more into this, more this self-inquiry, I can say. And I can try to bring that in all these moments where I see that I'm losing my center, I'm losing my temper, I'm losing my awareness. Like, remind me what is necessary somehow in life, I don't kind of take it so much, who am I and I'm that, or what is necessary, how simplicity is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Minimality, humbleness. So all of this is meditation. You know, Krishnamurti say meditation is also to be aware of the corrupted society, of what you're part of it into that. So you can see it from many angles.
A certain recognition of an existing truth, yeah?
Yes, a truth of, I am more that we see outside, the nature, than just the
Yeah.
the conqueror of something that it doesn't really exist because it's ephemeral.
Yeah.
It's always this, hold on. But is that really giving you any, true self, true freedom or whatever?
Yeah.
You know, I was 25 years ago in an ashram in Athens, the Gitananda ashram, you know, the Bihar school of yoga.
Yeah.
You know, so I was there and it was
the one with the orange books.
Yes,
The
yes, the one with all the therapeutic books. So there was this woman, it was this lecture, and they asked her, what is spirituality? And the woman said, it's a very simple, just watch, observe your life every year, become more simple. And then you are on the path. No matter who you believe, what is your guru, who is your, just look at that. Are you less depending of external wealth, and you are less attached somehow to your, to your person, to your mask that you wear. And then if you are less, and that's what she said, it's gradual. Sometimes takes lives, but it's looking back and looking yourself how, I don't not want to use the word proud, but how many makeups you use, how.
I heard a teacher that I liked yesterday, and he was saying, they were asking him this question. That's why I asked you, because I've been thinking about it. And he was saying, you return to the basic data again and again, the now data. And it comes to a point that it becomes evident that the assumptions that you regularly do have deviated themselves by small errors, but accumulate errors so much that you have to drop it because it no longer represents what you see here and now. I like you keep creating strategies to live in a fantasy world, and you keep going to that fantasy world. So in meditation, somehow you go to the actual here and now, and it comes to a point that the distance between the two is so evident that the other thing, the ego structure, at least to that degree, has to fall somewhat. I liked it. It's almost
You see, the only real thing that we have is nature, for me.
Really is where you find yourself.
Yes, and that's what I mean. The more you see, you have this urge to go towards there, that's your most highest spiritual value. Because nature make you humble, make you simple, make you compassionate. The earth is so compassionate with all of us here.
Makes you part of also. Like there's no way you can be in nature on a weekend and you lose your water bottle and you don't feel that you are this. Because you're going to be eaten by it.
Yeah, it's very simple somehow to see it from what we always try to find out, but we make it so complicated.
Talking about meditation, once you have gotten past the first years where you get acquainted with the technique, now I'm thinking Thai massage. Because in the beginning you're like thinking, what do I put my hand on, like which trigger point, what am I trying to do? But there's a point that kind of that disappears, yeah? So then giving massage, giving shiatsu, giving Thai massage, it becomes a dynamic meditation, yeah? What happens inside of you when you give massage? Because it's very beautiful, so I know for a first person.
You see, I was very complicated child always, and I was never really find something to hold me so tight. Thai massage for me was, yeah, changed my life. Changed my life of many of my colleagues that we were in Thailand at the same time, and so many people that I see that, wow, it's something else. So, and that's what, it's so funny now, it came in my mind. I used to do a lot of Vipassana with the Goenka tradition, yeah. And I was once in Greece cooking for the course I was serving, yeah. And somebody called me and said, "Oh, Taki, can you write something about time massage?" And I wrote, "Oh, it's a meditation in movement." And the teacher saw that and put me in a blacklist. He didn't
Oh,
let
you
me.
get in trouble for
I
that.
was in
Yeah,
trouble for that, and I was writing this in the kitchen in a paper, and I left it. I was out, and he saw it. Vipassana is only what we do, all this kind of. But anyway, that's another thing. But for me, yeah, it's like it's the highest moment of stillness and emptiness. When you touch somebody and you let that flow take you where you need to go. And that's why I love Thai massage, because in many modalities of body work, you're always looking for a problem. You're always looking for is it an energetic problem? Is it deficiency? Is it excess? Is it a muscle disorder? Is it, you always look to fix something. In Thai massage, that's what for me was like always, it was just a prayer. You see, I receive treatments from people where they didn't even know that here is my liver. They have no clue. And they were stepping on my bones, they were hurting me, but they were just empty. And I was going out of these treatments, and for weeks, I had this print in my body and I could feel it working. It's really like, so, and that's what for me, it's like, yes, it's the highest state of meditation to be there. And that's why I say it's not just I'm doing a work on somebody, I'm doing the work on me. And that's how that had this deep effect, because if I give love to myself, then I can share love with somebody that is there, exchanging with me. And it's always an exchange. That's the thing. It's, of course, we're learning, and yeah, start from there. This point is this is that. But when you are able to drop all of that and the judgmental mind, because that's the problem. I look at when I started to study Chinese medicine, I wanted to burn my books the first year. Yes, because I
there's a
remember
lot of information
I used
there,
to
right?
come back from Thailand and go to Greek islands and work as a body worker, yeah, and earning my living for 2-3 years. It was this period. And I had no clue, yeah. But I was so present and empty. And then when I started looking, and I would look your face and look at his kidney deficiency or his liver excess or whatever. And yeah, I was losing the magic. And that's what I love in this practice. It's the magic, it's the intention, it's the attention. It's what I say is the presence, attention, and intention. Attentive of the magic and the power of nature on you. When you touch somebody and you're really spread out of your physical body and of your structural mind, then you become big like a universe. And also when you are, remember that we have one, what is the intention? Is to remove darkness and bring light, to remove fear and bring freedom. And this is for me, if I'm stay there on my prayer, I can see that this can be incredible, the transformation for me and for the other person. If I go with the mind, I know, oh yeah, then you're out.
Yeah. I see it's like a moment. Instead of focusing on the person or on me, there is a moment there, and you are just going to allow the channel to be so open that beauty can emanate. Yeah. And then what happens is that you develop your confidence that actually healing happens. People feel better, and
I feel better
yeah,
too.
yeah, we feel better.
How often I start giving a session and I feel a bit, and then I tune in and
Yeah. And in some schools of meditation, besides the rigidity that is also belongs to some schools of meditation, but often And I like it. Stillness meditation, sit completely quiet and be with yourself. But life is not like that. Life, you gotta be doing things around, yeah? Unless you are a monk, but then that's not sustainable because they do not have children. So for us, in reality, if our meditation is going to work, it has to show in the movement of our life, in our actions, in our speech, in our relationships. And I always found that body work, it gives that bridge that allows you to take whatever you feel in your stillness into a first contact of how it will be later on in life. And in that moment, because you create such a calm environment, the two of you are in a quiet room, everything is quiet, so you can go quite deep in the moment of interaction of the two energy fields. Yeah. And then as a teacher, because especially if you're a free thinking teacher, how do you teach free thinking? Yeah. What is your signature? I never went to one of your courses, but
You see, I try not to say that it's mine, what I do. I was so blessed to receive that from my teacher, Asokananda, that he was living like a monk in the north of Thailand. He was married a hill tribe woman after he
what
had a
is
son.
his short background? Because he
He's-
was European, no?
He was European, and he was the one that wrote the first book about Thai massage.
Yeah,
In
and he
90
learned in Thailand.
He learned in a medical school in Wat Po, and also two of his teachers that was also my teachers after. Chayut and Pichet, they both have died now. Also him have died. So I received that. You see, I was there. I was one of his assistants. That he was also a teacher at that time. He was sick in the class, and so I had to start demonstrate, and that's how it all started. So you see, this course is all the value and the foundation is the Buddhist teaching. And it's what we said, this four aspect of true love. Like you try to bring this awareness into these four states of consciousness: metta, karuna, mudita, upekkha.
I like that it's so spiritual. I like it. It's so
Yes.
beautiful.
So this guy, he was combining the yoga of mindfulness that he was calling vipassana meditation. He was a bit rigid about that, and not the Goenka style,
No, the
more the
Thai.
traditional. Walking, standing, sitting. I don't say nicer, but yeah,
From the
Ajahn
the
Chah.
forest tradition.
Yes, for
Yeah.
the fourth, Ajahn Chah and what was the other monk? It was two monks, so the more Thai tradition, more Burmese Thai, but
Yeah, Thai forest
yeah,
tradition.
Thai forest tradition. I think you're right. It's a Thai forest tradition. Yeah, and so and combine the yoga and mindfulness, and then Thai massage. So this course was starting in the village. We were waking up at 4:30, going up to the hill. Imagine walking like a 20-minute. And then we will sit there and he will give us a Dhamma talk. He will teach every day kind of, one of the sutras, the
Oh,
five aspects
beautiful.
of true love, the five precepts, different approach. Yeah. And then we will go for a 1 hour of silent meditation. And then we had 2 hours of yoga. So imagine from 5 to 9, we had 4 hours of doing
And all
pranayama.
that before you work on each other or whatever.
And then all that, 10 o'clock and 8:30, we had to pause. And then from 10 to 1 and from 3 to 6, 6 hours of body work. Where
Oh,
he will,
cool.
yes,
Amazing.
living with the hill tribes. When I arrived there the first time, they were all
This was
like
what year are we talking about?
1997. I arrived there and there are people, imagine, around like this. And I said, this is a mental hospital. Where the hell I'm going? And then when I met these tribes, it was the biggest change. You see, Thai massage was not, it was just the whole setup of this guy in the hill tribe village with people that you will be there for 20 years, you will live 10 euro there, and nobody will touch it. Nobody will come to you to sell something or to take advantage for you. So we were living with the families, you understand? I had my family there, the other student, the family there. And my teacher was really like a pure giver in a way. He was, you will go 2 o'clock in the night, knock the door, and he will open Equanimus in the middle of the night, answer to you about anything. It's not like, oh, you wake me up, or, it's too late now, come later. I was a black sheep because I was a lot into this Hindu philosophy at that time. I was studying yoga also parallel with Thai massage. And he was quite cold, like no hate, no love, you know what I mean, the Buddhist way, but fully living it, him, fully. So coming back to your questions, there's so much magic of him in my classes. And then my first teacher, I told you, my Thai teacher that I was learning Tai Chi. And then, of course, my knowledge about the body, more osteopathy, Chinese medicine, and keeping the spirit and the Sangha together, that's the magic. You understand? And this is what I said. I'm doing nothing. And I'm there to remind myself and yourself that you are nothing. If you want to understand the fullness of things, becoming nothing. And this is, for me, like, for the influence that I had from my teachers. And Sunshine House has also a very beautiful spirit. You know, my grandparents, I never met them. They were really saints, but I know. And my grandmother that I met here. So there is that it's a washing machine, you know.
So it's when a place has its own
Yes.
personality.
So to tell me what I do and what is me, I very little. Just sometimes I don't know
Yeah,
what I
but
do.
those are the energies you're channeling. Yeah? And it's so beautiful, of course, it makes sense that you came from that way of receiving the teachings, that it was not just going to a clinic and...
That's what I mean. You imagine me, I went there in 1997, the first year, and then I went to a Tao garden in Madagchia. And I was like, and then I left after 2 days. And then I met, anyway, I'm jumping up and down, but I met one of his disciples, and I was going there doing private lessons with him. Very humble, American Italian with this amazing Russian woman. That was one of my teachers in Chine Chang in massage later. So, but I couldn't even do it, you know. My roots was something else. My first teacher also, he was a hippie guy from Thailand. He had a box in Athens, a hat, donation. He had rich family from Bangkok, but he was living purely. I know him now 40 years, he's still alive, yeah? He's living like so simple, so humble.
But it's like when you encounter the original yogis from the West that went to India and they tell you the first stories. These are the first stories of the Thai massage, yeah? But then a signature with you, maybe it was also because you drank it from your teacher, this thing that you said at the end, like besides the way you channel it, you really put a lot of importance in community, in Shangha, in having mirrors, not just your realizations in your own cocoon alone, but that you have witnesses when you realize, and that you have acceptance when you realize, and for that you need Shangha.
You did the
And that you
support.
have done like very consciously. I can see when I look at the way you work that you are very consciously feeding the sense of community.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was what my teacher was feeding, and what I believe is the only is one a very important tool.
Is the network of Thai therapists somehow connected?
Yes, we are like about 20. The last 25 years, I have about 10 good teachers in Europe that they were my students and they're part of the Sangha. And then I have my colleagues from that time. We are different generations, you understand? Like it was my teacher, the first generation, the people I met when I went there, and then it was my generation. And then there is another, let's say, 2 generations underneath. And we are all very connected. And we meet very often because also my courses, they are big people, a lot of people, but I always have another senior teacher like me that can teach the class if something happened to me. And I have another 5, 6 assistants that they've been learning to become teachers, and they are there. So the group, we might be 30 students, but I have 6, 7 people helping me with a special yoga every day. When I say special yoga, every day we have a different movement class. I don't even call it yoga. Everything is yoga, but everything is not yoga. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then every class, it has to come the moment of the day 3 or the day 5 where you can learn qigong, or you can have ecstatic dance, or you can do whirling, or you can do whatever. So there is a team where it's like, it's a washing machine. You go in from 6 in the morning until 10 in the night, we're busy. And we also, what I love in my work, let's say what I brought there, yeah, and that's also something, it's the way of approaching the touch. You see, you gave me a massage this morning and I was so amazed with your touch. Because for me, the way you're nesting is the first hello. When you put on hands, it's like a butterfly that landing. You know how people touching, we touch each other.
Yeah.
And this morning, I'm like, when you put my hand in the sacrum, I say, this guy knows what he does. No, honestly, I was a guinea pig all my life, and I have people that come with all these diplomas, you know. And
Yeah,
then they put your hands on you and you say, oh, no, stop. I don't want more of that, you
yeah,
know.
we are similar in that because for me, my mind had a couple of decades where it was very structured. Yeah, I can
No,
think and
mine
I
too.
can organize. But when I arrived to Siatsu, it was very clear. In all the courses that I did, I got the best grades in theory. And then 3 days later, if you ask me, like I really let the theory go. I really, whatever stays, stays. But when I work, it's all about touch and the moment. And oftentimes I can't even tell you later because I don't think I black out. But there are moments that I'm so present that I don't bring any memories back with me. Yeah, I'm just there. Yeah, and in those moments is when, when you do things that you don't know why you're doing them and they just
It's your
happen.
presence.
Yeah.
Once I had a student, yeah, it's a story I say often, in Ireland. No, we know when you come, you learn, let's say, 100 different techniques, yeah, in 10 days.
Yeah.
From different positions, different parts, structure of your body. So I was in Ireland and I had this fisherman. Typical, similar like in the Lahu village, as I said to you, in the hill drive. It was a guy for 10 days. Say, okay. So what I could see, he was such a slow learner, to know how to put your hara, biodynamics, how to move, how to sync with your body weight, with your zero. So, okay. And the last day we have this evaluation. It's not really evaluation. It's like you giving a massage to each other. And then I come and I give you a personal feedback about the principles. How you move, how you breathe, how you touch, how's your body weight, how's the distance, all of this. So we have this evaluation and the fisherman, he's coming in the room. He's sitting like this on his knee. He's holding his legs like this
Yeah.
for half an hour, smiling like this. And me and Pao and Till, my two assistants, now they are teachers, these two guys, we were saying, and the guy, after half an hour, he dropped the legs, goes out to smoke his cigarette. This guy, he was for 2.5 hours knocked out. When he gave the feedback, he said, I don't know where I went. I don't know what happened to me. That was the most amazing experience. The fisherman was just holding his legs. He was decompressing his dura, If you want to see from a structural thing, yeah, holding the legs and just leaning like this, it very slowly open the fascia inside your spine. But he didn't even know what was that, even if I explained to him. But this is how it is. And I witnessed that, what I said, with people that they have zero clue about structure, and they will put your hands and they can send you to a different journey. And it's not them, you understand? It's that, it's a channel that you create, an unconditional loving channel where you're going back to your essence.
Yeah. And also I find when you work like that, what is beautiful as well is the invitation for the receiver, because there is also an art in receiving a treatment. Yeah. Because at a certain point you're going to, as you fall into this space, you're going to confront. It's pleasant, but it's also showing you those things that scare you, because relaxing is abandoning the tension that keeps you safe.
Yes.
In one way or
It's the
another.
flight mode of the central nervous system. You are alert.
Yeah. And I think now, like, maybe because of the phones, everything has become digitalized, but we touch less. Like, there's less handshakes and hugs and less dancing in the club and less of all that. And yeah, right?
It's
Like,
true.
it's becoming everything
Yeah, well,
from
everything is
this.
digital. Our kids, you see it like.
So I think this conscious moment where you allow another human being to actually enter your physical space, non-sexually, but therapeutically, is super powerful for whatever happens later on. Yeah, if the therapist is amazing, yeah, or if the moment is amazing, but just that act of consciously trusting and maybe exposing yourself to the danger of maybe possibly being hurt, but open that is very powerful. Yeah.
When you lie down, you are very vulnerable. And very often people come with this vulnerability and also with this, stress. Okay, I have a lower back pain. I'm going to somebody to help me. But what is it? How? So, when somebody come and put your hands very soft in your body, no matter where, your nervous system and also the memory that you're lacking, this self-love and caring went from your very young age, that you're lacking. That's why we are insecure. We haven't been held enough. We haven't been touched enough from our parents. So when I come with that attention, the person will trust me. And it's the only way for me to go deep. Only if this person trusts me.
Yeah, they have the green light.
So you imagine if I go and I pull the leg, or I create skin burn, or I twist the body too far, or if I'm painful, he's there waiting for the next moment that I'm going to hurt him. He cannot go anywhere. And this is all this healing arts. Is I want you to just remind you to go where you need to go now to receive this deep message, this deep release, whatever you want to call it. So with this loving, kind touch, you can create miracles without even knowing the structure. And that's how I start. The first day, what I do is I touch the joints with my hands with a 5 light gram. This come from craniosacral. But already, without knowing, without have the fear, as a therapist learning or a receiver, you developing this bond, your central nervous system falling into this parasympathetic mode where you're, thank you, finally, I drop my control pattern. Because why we are like this, I control. And that's why I love this loving, caring touch. That's what I experienced with you this morning. And I was...
Another thing that happened for me that I got maybe conditioned is my first experience of massage was when I was playing football. So I would go to the physiotherapist and I would be injured, I have a tear in the hamstring or whatever, and these dudes would go into the pain.
Yeah. They love pain.
So, I mean, I could take it barely, but the association was massage is pain. And then I had a great teacher before Shiatsu, a beautiful Kumar. Hello, Kumar. From
Kumar.
India, Kumar.
Something ring a bell. What, his Shiatsu teacher?
No, Ayurvedic.
That's something.
He was giving Ayurvedic treatments, Ayurvedic massage treatments in Mysore to the people that went to do Ashtanga yoga. So I studied with him, and he was.
I know
him. He's awesome. Oh, nice. Kumar is awesome.
I was 6 weeks there in Mysore. 3 weeks in the bed. I killed my body in Pitabi Joy's class. And 3 weeks I was learning Ayurvedic massage.
I always feel like Patabi Joyce was a disappointment for me. I went there to meet Kumar because I really...
Yes, and that's what I mean.
It was amazing. Anyway, so he used to say that a lot of people would go to a massage just to be touched, just to be loved. Yeah. So beyond the purpose of the massage, fix my shoulder or whatever, to always keep attentive to that layer. There is a moment of love.
Yes.
It's a moment of holding someone. Yeah.
But that's you see, when you ask what is Thai massage, is application of metta. Metta is loving kindness. So this is what, and that's what I received from my teacher. Yeah.
That's his interpretation, no? Or do you the traditional Thai massage is taught this way as well? No.
Yes, that's traditional.
Even
Nuan Bora.
Prior to Ashokananda,
yes, that was ideally.
Okay.
But of course, all these new age schools in Chiang Mai or in South, they were missing that.
Okay.
You will go, okay, you will chant to Tsivaka for 3 minutes, but then it's 1, 2, 3. And what I want to say is, like you asked me in the beginning, what do I brought? And it's not just my awareness and investigation, it's an awareness of investigation of 3, 4 teachers of us the last 20 years. The other 3, they're all osteopaths, where we brought the touch of osteopathy into Thai massage.
Because osteopathy is amazing, but it really depends on having an amazing therapist, because it's all a matter of the person.
Don't tell me, man. It's exactly like
because
this.
2 people can tell you the same thing.
No,
and one
me,
is
I'm telling you about a work that we have brought just the touch, you understand? The listening of the fluids, you understand? Into this art where I call Thai massage.
Yeah.
Where I call ancient Thai massage.
Yeah, I do apply in every time I have had a craniosacral.
Yes, exactly.
Part of what I do has that vibe. Yeah.
My work, like to say, I call it, there are 4 ways of touching. The one is the air touch. That's the craniosacral touch.
Okay.
Then
give me the...
Yeah, it's like the 5 gram touch. You're listening and you connect with a vital force. You connect with the pranic force, with your vitality. You see, when your body, imagine every tissue has that aptitude of expansion and retraction.
A breath.
Yes. So wherever I touch you, I can point and I can palpate that. But to be honest, to come and touch you, I need to be so relaxed everywhere. So relaxed, especially here, because my antennas are here on the forearm, and my hands has to come and light like a 5 gram, 3 gram, 2 gram. So it's just very light. And there I'm able to feel that expansion and retraction. This
That's
is
the air touch.
That's the air touch. Then we have the water touch, where you work a lot on the visceral, or you do the fascia unwinding. You're taking the skin and you try to follow to see where is the lesion, where is the trauma, where is the. That's the water touch. Then we have the earth touch, traditional Thai massage. You fix, you touch, you listen, you palpate, you nesting correctly. That's very important. That was missing for my studies. And then you go and you sink very, very deep, slowly.
I never heard this word. You use it twice. Nesting.
Nesting,
It's the placement
nesting,
of the hand, no?
yes. You see, if you look anatomically, your hands has always the perfect way to nest. I can be here, okay, you see, you feel it. Now it's perfect because you know, but I can be here, I can be there, I can be here, I can be there. So it's always this, how to nest, how to secure my touch, and then I can put all my weight so deep. And my intention in the earth touch is to go where? To feel your bones.
Definitely.
So
That's the
whatever is there, I penetrate it, and that's so deep. But it can take you 20 seconds to sink. It can take you 2. If it takes you 2, pain, because we're everywhere in flame. So the earth touches to go full to work with vitality into the bond. And then we have the dynamic, and that's something that
you love that, eh?
yes, but that's something, again, people say, oh, you invade this. No, I haven't invaded that. That was my teacher. I had 2 teachers. Asokananda and me, we had 2 teachers, Chayut and Pichet. Chayut, you will go in the mat, in the floor, and he will rock you and shake you like nothing. And my head will hit the wall. He will be with his testicles, and his knee on my testicle or on my spine. It was a washing machine. And the guy was 35 years a monk. You understand? And that, nobody could bring it up. And me and David, my other osteopath, I will tell you, we took that to bring it into the static, earthy, traditional Thai massage, you understand?
Yeah, because if I can say as a receiver,
it's painful sometimes.
Mainly if you lose the ability to be kind of softly relaxed, if you begin to be on guard,
no.
The therapeutic kind of process,
this is something I don't like.
Yeah.
You understand? And that's what I left.
Yeah.
I was carrying it the first 10 years of my studies, because my teacher also was brutal. Pop, pop. You know, force. If I use force, the force goes here and here on my body. So everything has to be effortless. You see, I can share with you 10 techniques. They will be all so precise, the way I will take care of my body, and the way I will use my breath and this gradual sinking to enter on you.
Yeah.
So that's the earth touch, and then the fire touch is the rocking the joints, moving the fluids. It's good for all kind of rheumatoid arthritis. It's good for all stagnations of the liver. You know, people that come rigid. You want to stretch the arm, what you do? I'm taking your arm rigid to stretch it? No way. So I need to take this arm, shake it, so I can really drop, relax, and then I go. So this is, let's say, and again, it's not that I developed that, of course, but it was a collaboration with colleagues and friends where we changed the structure. And this started 20 years ago in Laos. We were teach this course for a month. It was a shiatsu teacher, it was me, it was an osteopath, it was a Ayurvedic American guy, and American woman, and then Gwyn was a shiatsu guy from Australia. So we were kind of a team where we kind of...
You are seeing it grow.
Yes, we start bringing different qualities inside. You see?
You can almost think that the language wants to be found and is pulling from you guys to be... It's like the Thai massage itself is guiding you.
Yeah, and many people that have been criticized so much, you know, from traditional schools of Thai massage. Oh, you call that Thai massage? That's not Thai massage. I mean, what is Thai massage? Thai massage is what for me is the desire to have to heal yourself and to
in
heal.
the end, it's a question of labeling, you know, like if you call it whatever else. I like heavy metal, and sometimes these amazing songs, and then you would see people criticizing them because it doesn't belong to this particular subgroup, and it's like, who cares?
I tell you something, Igor, I had so many people, especially one guy now was in Switzerland, old student. He said to me, you have the worst name for your work because you call it Thai yoga massage. And when people thinking Thai yoga massage, they're thinking about, prostitution, brutality of the practice. But I keep it like this because this is what I receive, you see.
so many times I've been thinking if I should change my class to call it something else than yoga, because I don't even know if what I do can be called yoga. But at the same time, I love
Yoga, man.
the innocence or the simplicity of having, looking for truth and kindness through a physical experience. So it's yoga. Everything is yoga.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what my teacher used to say, Asokananda, Thai massage is yoga, yoga is Thai massage.
And it's interesting because I can feel in your body your philosophy. Like today when I was giving you shiatsu, you are soft. You are there's aliveness in your body, but there was almost no tension. It's interesting.
This is the, you see, this is
I
another
mean, you
thing
had
I
a few
do.
things because of this scoliosis that you had since you were a kid, but even that was not holding. It was very interesting to work with you, actually.
I want to tell you one thing, and this was again one of my teachers, like, there is this Angela and Victor, they teaching, they were both 20 years with a Yanga. And then the guy was coming from martial arts. Angela grew up through a Yanga. Anyway, chaos. They left, big, don't want to go to gossips. But these two guys, this guy was a Yanga broke his spine, yeah, in a demonstration. Nasty demonstration. Anyway, it's a big story. I asked him,
The stories of the big
yeah,
yoga
I
gurus.
asked, anyway, let's go to the point. Victor, I asked, what was the thing because the doctor said to him that he will never walk again, yeah? So the guy, after 6 years, he started teaching yoga again. He's still limping. I saw him 5 years ago. But I asked him once, Victor, what was the thing that helped you mostly? He said, I was lying in bed for years. The only thing I will do, I will visualize space around my L4, L5. Nothing else. And that's why I want to go to everybody that doing yoga. Just remember that it's not just your body. Bring your awareness out.
Yeah.
Spread it out. And this is what I say. I drive my car and I have this awareness that I'm spreading out. And that's why, you asked me before, what is meditation? There's so many things you can talk about what is meditation. But this connection that you have with your pranamaya kosa, with your manomaya kosa, with the different bodies we learn in yoga. But then we learn, but are we doing something with that? No, we are still stuck. How my body looks, how my hamstrings are, how. So that's what I bring. What you ask me, I bring that a lot into my moment to moment practice.
Because there's such a contraction in our life. Before, the contraction was maybe because of survival. Because originally survival was a tribe thing, so you couldn't have contraction, you would have to survive together,
Yes.
yeah? But then at a certain point we thought, okay, it's gonna be me. And then I'm going to survive by harden the layer that separates me from the rest. And now that that has become easier, then we still have to make ourselves special through the whole social media, whatever it is, and everybody has to find their own uniqueness but it continues to increase the layer that separates you from the environment, and that layer that gives you safety compresses you. So if you want to be closer to your true nature, literally you have to allow that layer to soften so you can feel that you're bigger. And that biggerness includes others, the environment, nature.
Yes.
And that sounds, to you and I, it's like so evident, and yet it would fall under the category of esotericism or something like that, because it's not commonly understood. Yeah. What do you think, working with people, what are you seeing in the average person that you see, "Ooh, we are going in that direction, people need," when you work with people closely, what is painting itself in front of your eyes as the main problems of the last few years?
Fear. You see, we are so afraid, especially after COVID. I think this insecurity, the uncertain that spread around, and I don't know where to start. I think we are really in a level, in a deep level of completely lost and sick. Like, I touch a lot of people in my classes, people that they imagine they come to study, they already have some awareness. Okay, I'm going to learn something to change my life, but still, you touch, wherever you touch, there's nothing moving. The body doesn't fluctuate, the organs are all rigid. So it's a style of life, it's so difficult. There's so many kind of holds that we have to sustain that safety and to feel safe, we kind of vibrate in a very low realm of our consciousness. So I don't know, you have to find there are many ways, it's a diet, it's the practice, it's the community, it's the friendship, it's, the many things that you have to break to start changing. It's not easy. And because the patterns are so strong and the habits are so strong, and yeah, the surroundings of people that are so negative through their own ignorance, of course, I'm not judging anyone, but it is how it is. When I leave from here or wherever I am and I go to a city or in a yoga studio and yeah, it's a lot of work. It's we are very privileged, somehow. Also, I say it, we're privileged for no reason. Life brought us here and to be kind of out of this big matrix somehow, even though we have kids, we're kind of aware to step out of that. But the majority of people, even if go for a yoga class once a week or twice a week, doesn't really change much.
I think I feel, at the time I didn't, but now I feel I was very lucky to have such a strong intolerance to that lifestyle. I almost felt it was not worth living if my life
Yes,
was going to be
I
programmed.
don't think I would be living now if didn't have changed something at that time.
Yeah, and then sometimes I see that process happening in people that are in their 40s, and it happened to me in my early 20s or late teens. And it forced me to get out of what was the destiny that
The
seemed
ideally
to be
life, yeah.
chosen for me. And then, of course, leads you to a number of years that you are just bouncing about, yeah, and to a lot of instability. One of the unseen things of people like us in our life is that we are always winging it. It's
Yeah,
like,
man, but that's what I mean,
we are
it's
playing a game of like, let's see how it is done tomorrow, yeah? And you
but
get
that's what I
frustrated.
mean. It's this moment to moment, to trust and to be in the moment. And this moment will show you the next moment.
But in this moment that the odds seem quite dark, where do you find your optimism if you think for your kids, let's say, if we look 30, 40 years ahead,
Oh
and
man,
we
this
are,
question now.
I know, I know, I know, I know. Let's try to look through the darkness and the fog. Where can we find a point of optimism?
Nature.
And how does that bring us? I meant for humans.
I try not to think and not to go ahead because it's quite dark and
Yeah.
painful. And it's not that I'm not optimistic, For me, you know, what I mean, I try to bring this very important teaching of life and death into your daily somehow affirmation. But I don't know. To be honest, I don't see how we can go out of where we are as a collective consciousness. Yeah. Of course, I can say to you, yeah, go more in the nature, start taking care of your diet, pray more, meditate more, fast more. Of course, everybody listen that, and it's easy to. But again, because the pullings are so strong, it's so difficult if you don't have the sangha, the support to do that. But if you want to show me how I can see this kind of world changing, I don't know, man. I have no answer. I have an answer, but it will be a bit for maybe an answer. The last many years now, I've been thinking, okay, I believe aliens can come and save us. People with a more high consciousness than us, humans, that living somewhere and they can suddenly say, okay. And then I saw this movie 3 years ago, The Green Beautiful. You've seen it, no?
The
The
green
the green blue, green vert, la vert green. Like it's a French. It was banned.
No, I haven't seen it.
It's in the Netflix. This is I realized because I've
Okay.
seen it already 10 times. So
Okay, no, I haven't seen
I
it.
say this for me. I've seen it in the movie. This ideal belief because being in this kind of spiritual bubble, whatever you want to call it, the last 25, 30 years, I have not much.
Well, I see.
You know what I mean? There is a work happening, but I see people years and years in that path,
Yeah.
and nothing have changed.
So what I see is a lot of suffering until there is so much of it that it really softens the human heart
Yeah.
and we find each other. Now, I do not see how that doesn't happen with a few years or a lot of years in between where a lot of sadness happens. Yeah. So I'm trying, I don't think, I mean, like, I also have a daughter, so if there is any other easier way, I would prefer that we take it, so I don't give up on it. But it does look like we're going to be confronted with so much suffering, because we've been confronted with a lot of suffering in the last 2 or 3 years, and we're still looking away.
You know what?
So it's like, yeah.
No matter where it comes from, yeah, because there's so many conspiracies, and it's all okay. And I believe in all of them, and I also don't believe any of them. It's a karma stuff. It's like we have been manipulated each other as human race, and it's not now. It was 100 years ago. It was 200 years ago. It was 500. So what we know is a war. So collectively, you know, if you think what we have done to each other and also to the planet, the karma will come and flush it out. And of course, it can be painful because we have kids, but on the other hand, it's a blessing too. And you see that in COVID, there was nothing moving. It was such a blessing. The energy, the magnetic fields, the frequencies, nature, the birds. So, what more me and you will have to give to this planet than your dog or your cat? They are much more
Aligned.
they're much more aligned than we are. So, I don't want to say, oh yeah, you're thinking bad or things bad can happen. I'm ready for everything, and I'm ready for the change. So, and it can even suck me in this black hole, you know. But I'm ready for that. I'm not afraid, you know. I'm, yeah, it's God's grace, but I believe that we need to see, we need to witness in this world, especially our kids, maybe not, that different. How humans can live in love and peace and harmony with no jealousy, with no competition, no greediness, with no pride, with all of that somehow pollution that we carry, because it's possible. And that's why I say, if tomorrow the aliens come and the zone out, the clean our consciousness, memory, not become Alzheimer, but take the pain, take the suffering, take the nastiness, you know, the bitterness. What remains? Oneness. Then, you know, 30 years ago when they would tell me, teachers, oh, you're one. I said, what the fuck you say, where
It's
one?
true.
But now I can feel it. It's true. What separates me and you? It's just our drama and your drama. But if we take that out, what we are? The same.
Yeah, and also this global way of dealing with commerce and financial markets, it literally makes us dependent on each other every day. Now,
Every
things
day.
happen over there, but they affect you here, yeah? And that before maybe was more difficult to see, but now it's so clear. Really, we are one, both in the good stuff and in the bad stuff. I think this idea that you can protect yourself from things, maybe for a little longer, but I don't think in the long run, you know, I don't think it
It's
can.
gonna break. From, no matter how it's gonna break, either from this direction or that direction or the truth direction is going to break.
Yeah. And otherwise you'll break inside. I think there is a limit to how much you can create your own heaven inside your fence before you yourself begin to feel empty from that as well, knowing
Yes.
that there is suffering outside the fence. Yeah.
No, I've been suffering a lot, you know, but like that's what I mean, because I can look and say, okay, why these people in Lebanon or in Gaza or in Syria or in Iran or there, or why they're suffering? I'm suffering too. I cannot separate myself from them. You know, it's impossible. And okay, it can bring me anger, but again, what is anger? It's through ignorance, no matter what happens. So I feel the love also for the people that are doing that, you know, and I want to send them love because they are suffering more than anybody. But still, you see, there is this, I cannot separate myself and sitting here and I say, I have a good life. What is a good life? You know, I'm part of this, you know, everybody, we are inside this matrix. You know, your account, your tax number, your this, your that, you are part of that. And I am part of that. That's why I'm saying I'm ready, because I also have been manipulated and, you know, nature, environment, you know, where.
And that sense of belonging, it remind me now, I was listening to a podcast of a guy that he was saying, so his coach, online coach in some business, she was living in Beirut.
By
So then he was like, one day we had this coaching session and she's gonna coach me from Beirut while there are going bombs around. So I was aware of the irony. But then they had been friends for a while, so they were talking about the situation. And she was saying that one of the things that was helping the people there to live through it is that they knew each other from generations. They said, she was saying, in this house that I'm living, my family has been living for 500 years. And
Beautiful.
and I was reflecting, we do not have that anymore, yeah, because we've been shifting so much. So somehow with this kind of sunshine network, new kinds of communities that, although they don't have history, they have to fill that gap, because it's not even just because I have moved to another country. Even when I was born, like my parents already had moved, the Civil War had moved things. If I look down, I didn't have more than 3 or 4 generations of like really seeking. And even if that was so, you were describing the manipulation of the church in the last century. So a lot of us in Europe do not feel like we have a lineage.
Yes, you're true. You're right.
Right? And even if we have, is a lineage of pain.
But
It's
that's
not
what
like
I
what
mean.
you were saying, that the people transmitting the Tibetan wisdom, like,
But that's what I mean. Even in Greece, for me, I have nothing to be proud of.
yeah,
You know what I mean? I'm
yeah,
proud. I'm proud of. For me, I'm proud of the place. Of the morphology, of the climate, of the beauty and harmony between mountains and seas and rivers. But when I go to human consciousness again, we were doing war 2,500 years ago. You know what I mean?
maybe that's the culture that we're creating, new
That's what I mean.
communities
We
of
were
things that
all.
we are proud of,
Yes, that's what I mean. There used to be a matriarchic communities before in
in
Greece.
Greece.
They were living in peace and love.
Okay, when was this? Or what kind of, what do you know about it?
Yeah, 6, 7, 8,000 years ago.
Okay.
You know, in my island, in Samothraki, another island, Peloponnese.
So that is prior to the famous Greek philosophers, before that.
No, that was much before, man.
Okay.
No, we're talking about people living in nature in the
Yeah, yeah,
jungle. There was
okay.
the
And that was
philosophers.
a matriarchal society in Greece.
Yes, fully. And that's why, I mean, I'm fully open to that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But to think about Aristotle and all these guys and all these philosophers and all these conquerors, I grew up in an island where I live, Halkida. It's a city, yeah. A lot of history anyway. And another one there. So these two, I'm the middle, 25 kilometers, they had a war for 200 years.
Can you
That's
imagine?
my culture too,
Yeah.
So I have nothing to be proud. I'm not proud about a monument that they built and they had probably thousands of slaves beaten up to make the Parthenon, That's what I mean. But I'm really touched when I go in the top of some amazing mountains and I look around and I see all these little figures of islands and the nature and this I'm proud of the silence void that is there. Yeah. I love it. The climate. Yeah. I'm proud, but nothing else. Huh? I left Greece because I was not proud at all. The culture sucks. The new Ellen, because we have lost completely the essence.
Yeah.
You know.
I think I have told the story before. In my case, my grandfather from my father and my grandfather from my mother, they fought against each other in the Civil War.
Yeah, yeah.
And both of them, my mother's father was sentenced to prison and he escaped through the window, like with the sheets, like in the movies. And my father's father got shot in the nose. So I remember being a child and reflecting on, like, both my grandparents almost died from opposing sides of the Civil War. This is my karma. Yeah.
It's the same for me.
It's,
They don't know each other, but one was with the left wing, the other one was with the right wing.
yeah. So
Living 200 kilometers distant.
the contradiction is inside,
Yeah.
our yeah.
But that's why I mean, all of this is just memories, Nothing is real of that. This doesn't give us nothing. It's like we're going around in cycles. This and this and this and this. And that's the thing, that's what we're listening, we're hearing. There's an amazing teacher in Greece, we call Kazajakis. He wrote Zorba the Greek, The Temptation of Jesus Christ. He has a little book called Askitiki, the Sandana. Askitiki is like 50 pages. And this is why I say it's just the voices. Listen to that. It's just a voice that you don't even know where it comes from. And you're acting through a voice of somebody that is there telling you something.
Almost like how do they call it? Like an egregore that is
Yeah,
traveling through
yeah,
time. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
language itself is an egregore.
Yeah.
Like the
Very
way,
powerful.
because language changes your
Yeah,
mind. Yeah, it
your
becomes,
conception, the
yeah,
understanding, everything. I have lost that, Greek language is so strong, powerful. No idea. What
yeah.
we learned in school, imagine 50 years ago, 40.
Okay. Yeah, for me also, since I speak in English in my life, I had that conversation. Like I don't use Spanish
Yes.
that much. Yeah,
And it's much more deep language, no?
could be. I personally enjoy the flexibility of English and the sense of community. I think
Yeah.
that's what English has higher than any other language.
I think also the language that we use now,
Because
we
you're
learn
Greek,
it in
I'm
English.
Spanish, the other guy is
Yeah.
Portuguese.
I learned all of this in English. You learn all of
Yeah.
this in English. So it makes sense.
And maybe it lacks precision in some places because we are the second language, is our second language. But at the same time, it is built to generate a feeling of belonging together, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Because you have all the immigrants in every country, they learn English and then they bring their own weird expressions, but you have to be tolerant because it's no one's first language.
Yes.
Yeah. As a human, as I was going to say, as a spiritual practitioner, but as a human, look into the second part of life. What do you think in the transition when we die, when we take off these clothes, go through the veil? What do we bring from this existence? What is this a school? Is this a play park? Is this a testing ground? Is this a prison? What do you feel is like? Yeah, experiences, but the experiences are gone, yeah? But what do we bring, or what is it for as we change clothes from one life to the other?
I think we're definitely carrying something that this has the
Not houses and money, but what?
no something in some consciousness that is there, and we have experience through that play of that role here. It continues, and I believe I don't know, I think more in this emotional state of it's a fear you're taking with you. It's something that your destiny had to finish here, but you didn't, and you have to continue evolving on that, researching on that. It's definitely, I believe, that continues something. We're going and we continue. Now, what form? I don't know if I will live in New Zealand in next life or, I don't know. But I believe the lighter you are in your being here in this moment, as you die, the lighter you die with the idea of dying and also with, the letting go of this persona and, mind, whatever, and body, I think the more lightful will be your journey of go back there. I believe a lot on this. You see that we're coming from that source and we're going back to that source.
I even heard from someone in that direction. I think it was I think it's Tibetan Buddhism, but I'm not 100% sure, that they recommend that even the close loved ones of the person that is dying, that they shouldn't be there in the moment of death, so that the person feels free to go.
Yeah, or live with a celebration.
Or, yeah.
Imagine we're here, I have my father here and I can dance.
Your parents are still alive?
But it was a difficult life for me. My father was my best friend.
But he...
No, he died 6 years ago.
Okay.
And he died in a bad way. He died with cancer and Alzheimer. And all because start with a crisis, start with not a happy, he had a very happy life, but he didn't have a happy relationship. I think my father and my dad, there was...
Your parents?
should not be together. Like most of our parents, in our generation, I don't know.
So did you have the chance to do the transition with him?
In a certain way, I had, but also it was so much the pressure of my mother behind about his, we decided not to take drugs and not to take, not to go for chemo and to follow a very alternative way. And it started really nice. I was fully kind of, orchestrate that. But then my mother was pushing for results and see the cancer reducing, 79-year-old. What do you want to reduce, The guy used to walk 500 meter After we did this treatment, for 2 months with a lot of fasting and special diet, very based on chlorophyll and keto, and a lot of supplements, cannabis. And he was really, you see him, he was so lighter, he could walk 500 meters before he could even walk 50 meters when he found out that he had cancer. So anyway, we went through this agony. My mother found another pharmacist to start giving him different stuff. And then he had a stroke because this, he had an apple on the back of the scapula, in the lung. But he was feeling much better and better. But when he started taking the second drugs, not the chemo, but it was a combination of herbs, of stones, of minerals, and I think it was too much for him. And then the cancer started opening, and then he had a stroke, started getting Alzheimer. So he left kind of fast, but it was for me. I had a lot of pain, and yeah, so it was not an easy transition.
It's interesting. It's like the end of a book, yeah. And sometimes I think you control your life or you live your life and it's okay, but there are these deviations at certain point, and you can have the most beautiful book, and
Yeah,
then the
yeah.
last page is missing, or like
And the book is never beautiful. You always have ups and
ups
downs.
and downs. Yeah.
Yeah, it's life. Karma that you burn, karma that you create. It's always, you don't know where it comes from. And
One thing that helps me is to not feel that all of it needs to be finished. Yeah, like it's an open process, and then this life you touch in some subjects, and next time you try better. I don't know. I try to relieve myself from pressure,
yeah,
because when you try to tie all the knots, and I think there has been a good advice from previous generations of tie all your knots, yeah, and like
tie your
really,
horses.
yeah. But now we have so many strings open. There is so many. Life is really complex and really open in so many directions. Just with the phone, how many people are in your phone? How many relationships? You travel to
Everything
this
is
country,
fast.
that country, but there is a lot of more number of things. Yeah, like even the ideas that you are exposed to. If you grew up in the same village, it's the same people. Yeah, the same faces every day. So by having so many agendas or so many subjects open, I think we have to be a little bit compassionate and tolerant that we will not be able to close all of them.
Yeah, yeah. I'm aware of that. In and I still, after 7 years, my father died. There's a lot of things digesting process.
Yeah, I believe in some way it might never go away. It's just in the place of
Yeah.
your father, you have this
No,
feeling.
but I want. It's my intention to clear it. So that my kids they don't take it, and
Yeah.
it's the same. That's the thing. It's like this kind of boxes. It's good if you're able to, yeah.
Does it help if you include him in your
No,
prayers?
I
Or,
do.
yeah,
I do. Yeah.
of
I
course.
include him everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, how beautiful! All 6 years and you still have him so present.
Yeah,
How
yeah. It's
beautiful.
yeah. It was like for me, it was the best master. He was so equanimous, so compassionate, so generous. Yeah, very bad businessman, but it doesn't matter. He wanted to be, so he was not
In
really.
one way, could almost be a compliment.
He was an alien
It
in
could
many
almost be
ways.
a compliment.
No, no, for me it's a compliment,
Yeah.
For sometimes I would hear my sister or someone, oh, he could have make this better, and then I said, even though he left me with all these debts and all this, it was that I don't care, It was more for me the loss, of my best friend than just I was super like we were best friends since I was 12. I remember I was sharing everything with him. He's sharing everything with me. Because with my mother, I would not had such a good dynamic, so it was you know. But yeah, I'm so grateful. Even if it was painful in the end, I was so grateful to grow with him.
And do you see that very consciously this moment when you feel like you are passing something to the next generation and you hold back and you're like, no, 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 this is this stays
But how
with me.
many witness my kids repeating our own patterns is sometimes And now, I'm telling you from that point now where I am, because, also every year you change your maturity, your understanding, maturity of understanding what is real. That's why for me, maturity, to remember what is real. Is it now a moment to break down for what? To go in a drama for what? And that's what you witness all the time, how people, the small things, they can lose temper, they can lose the ground, they can be completely off for days and weeks and years. What is it real that now? You know? And that's why I say life can be so simple in a way to understand that you have everything is outside, but what is nature? And then inside is God. And God is here and there too, but that's the two things for me that, you know, and when I say God again, I'm coming back to that, the simplicity and the freedom of the space and the magic that exists outside on this scene. Because many times, people I go to retreats and sometimes, oh, what's your purpose? Well, what is your purpose and what's my purpose? Everybody has a purpose. What is a purpose? This is so common. Because my last course, we had this conversation. I say, for me, it's one purpose: is to be lighter. This is my purpose. To feel less, depending on this external happiness. Let's say that's less. To be, yeah, to feel content. At that moment when you're looking the tomato plant, to be fully, look at this beauty. Instead of looking my beauty on my achievements in my material life, you know what I mean? Because what I said, my father had nothing, yeah? He came from a very poor family. There were like 5 kids and 2 people in a 20 square meter house in Athens. His father was a teacher and the mother was taking care of the church. So he never been to school. He stopped school when he was 11. And he was always on the go. So very simple person. But I also grew up in a kind of a high class. I had this kind of picture in my life from 15 to 23. I was living in the rich area of Athens, so you understand. For me, it was an amazing
And
school.
Athens is the capital also of the country, yeah?
Yes, I grew up in the south, kind of middle poor, and I went up to maybe poor, rich. So, I've seen it all, that's what I mean. And then I reached up 23 and I said, there's nothing, man. There's zero happiness here. And I had it, I could go out with the kids that they were rich family. Pain, man. Everywhere I look, it was just painful. And I was trying to do that because I thought that was my life purpose now, grow up here and, have. That's what I mean. I lived it. It's not that I came to Boca del Rio in Portugal to, for me, I come from, I smell it all in all levels, I was working in a casino for 16 months.
I would have liked to see that.
I was wearing a suit, managing a restaurant, yeah? That was my work. I was fully into that, not into the gambling. No, I like gambling, but it was not my. But what I've seen and what I witnessed, man, it's like, yeah. And my father, what I say, because he was coming from a very poor family, he always had this, I want you all to have a good life. And he will always give, and trust. So you cannot be a businessman if I trust you. Yeah, let's do that. And you are clearly going to stop me. But my father, you say, oh yeah, let's do it. What do we not do? Okay, let's do it. Boom.
Yeah, but you see that in generations, when there is care, the previous generations will try, I don't want you to suffer the same things that I suffer. So when I have talked to my mother, when I started talking to my mother that I wanted to be in nature, live in nature, I still remember this day. One day she looked at me and she's like, but nature is poverty.
Yeah.
And for her it was,
It
for
was.
her she had to move out of that village where she grew up and go to the city, and that was prosperity, yeah? And then I was lucky enough to have my daughter grow up in nature here. And then she wants to go to the city because, for her that's the new thing.
No, but that's the thing. I
And
think these
it will
kids, they will
swing
come
like
back
this.
so quickly, man.
Yeah.
They kind of go, they kind of smell it. And they say, okay, thank you. quickly they will come back to, yeah.
Maybe to finish, unless you have something else to say. With shiatsu, I try to teach, and I still do every so often. I do like one day just to share basic techniques, and but very early on, I saw in that I don't want to teach. My shiatsu dies in my shiatsu. It's one-on-one, and that's. But you that you have dedicated so many years to this project, do you have a vision of where it's going, or do you have
I
a?
have no vision, man. I'm not so, how you say, like ambitious, you know?
No, but is there something in the craft or in the art that is coming new, or?
For me, what is, I'm very happy because I have students that they've been doing what I'm doing now very, even better because they even study, they are osteopaths or, you know, in a way. And I'm very happy to see that this is continuous.
So you feel safe that the
Yes. So,
the
you know,
transmission is
to
done.
be honest, like last year, because I also sometimes I want to be more with Amrita, my little one, and I'm traveling a lot. I say, okay, maybe I change something. You know, I change in my life and try to. And I was thinking to. It passed my mind to change a bit and maybe open a canteen here and selling Greek tacos. You know, something like. Yeah, yeah, you know, because I love food and it was something very, you know, and because Portugal has a lot of opportunities for me with food. There's many things you can do from that point of view. But then I realized, no, 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 I cannot. That's my
But
path.
would you do something with food? Because you said it was your first love in terms
Yeah,
of.
yeah. I decide now again. It was just last summer I was going through this. Okay, maybe, you know, not depending on teaching. When I start teaching Thai massage, it was not my point to earn my living from that. Understand? It happened because the crisis came, because things that were opening, people, I was invited a lot, and I said, okay, it's running, let's go. But I don't have this ambitions of creating, I never wanted to create my name and my school. It's what I said, even the school that I have, I never even changed it. And people said to me, you're stupid, you don't know how to brand yourself. I heard that so many times.
I have
You
heard that
you
as well.
call it Thai yoga massage. You know what you do is something unique. It's not Thai yoga massage. I said, no, it is what it is. Okay, the style is a bit different. I don't care. It is what it is. So
But it is that personality that you have that makes it special. If you were the kind of person that is
yeah,
into branding,
no,
it
I
probably would
know,
not have that
I
feeling.
know, I
Yeah.
know. I've seen, as I said now, people come and they say, oh, look, look, and I see people on the Instagram showing my techniques, our techniques with my colleagues, techniques, because technique is nothing to come with a technique. If you understand biomechanically the body, it's so easy to understand if there is force there and if it's anyway.
But your internal alignment is,
Yeah, yeah,
is
that's
invisible.
that's something else.
That's
But I say there
invisible.
is people now on the Instagram posing with this, and that's where Thai massage goes in one way, and that's why I was thinking last year. I said, "Fuck it all." I just open a canteen, have five microbiotic products, these keto crackers that I brought you. Just try to see, and just go there, have a.
Yeah. You do that in the week, and then in the weekend you do have a
No,
Thai
because this
massage circle.
no, and then open a little clinic,
Yeah, yeah.
and of giving treatments and giving acupuncture because I like that. It's
You
something.
also give acupuncture?
Yeah, that's why I study.
Okay, yeah.
That's why I study, and I haven't used it 20 years now because I'm fully into into massage. And I think and then now because you see you're coming back to the first question. I see there are so many sickness now. You see when you go to give a massage, your intention is to go deep into that emotional pain. So the people that can really felt from that anchor, from that depth. But with acupuncture, you can have people now that are really sick, and you can help in a on the
Physical
structural
level.
body.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it can be really helpful.
Yeah.
Like if somebody come to me with a very killing cough, I can help him with the needles.
Yes.
And with the Thai massage, I can help him. But this is a different.
Yes. I'm having a guest at the end of the summer that is a local, very good acupuncturist. We'll talk about this.
No,
Yeah.
I'll be very happy
Yeah.
to receive because
Yeah. Celia, I don't know if you have met
oh, he's
Celia.
a very good
Yeah.
friend. We're working together now.
Yeah, so she will come in to be here. Yeah. She was supposed to come, but she was sick. Yeah. I'm looking forward.
She's one of my biggest.
She's awesome.
She's one of my biggest friends and people I met here, and I say thank you.
And this is also because I met Celia. Sorry, this is totally aside, but it's the, how do you say, the character of people. I met her a few years ago, and you know when you meet someone and it's like there is someone behind those eyes, yeah. And last week we were exchanging text, and she took a little longer to answer. And you know how people are now in texting, that you are having a conversation and they just disappear and you don't know what happened, and people are doing that. And for a second I was like, I hope she didn't just ghost me. And then in the back of my mind was like, no, it's Celia.
No, it's Celia. It's Celia. It's like the same with me.
And then she texted me back, and it was, of course, completely thoughtful, and there had been a situation, and she was taking some time to... Anyway, she will come at the end of the summer.
She's a goddess, man. She's one of the. Sorry, Celia, but we love you.
Good.
Nice.
Do you think we have something else to add to this? Many things, but how beautiful, no?
Yeah. Anyway, I'm very grateful that I came here to give that interview, but I'm grateful to see you and receive this massage.
This, me too, yeah.
And you know, because you are always in my heart, in a way I know we will never really connect. We connect, but not in the... You know what I mean? It was you had your life
and
story.
I think
I had my own dramas. We were like, you know, there. But honestly, I always see you and I say, oh, fuck, this guy is a... You know, also last Saturday I wanted to come... Many times I want to come to your yoga, but then I will wake up and Kerry say, oh, you have to do this and stay with Amrita, do this. And I say, fuck.
And also this thing that I have done to a certain degree, but you have been doing more. When you come and you go, sometimes I have thought a couple of times I'm going to text him, but I don't know if you're here or if you're going.
Nobody knows when I'm here. That's why I was thinking last
bit of
year.
a mystery,
I opened the canteen, so I am here.
Yes.
I have a routine.
Yes.
I know I'm 9 months here because to go out for 2-3 months is not much. But now I'm here, 4 months a year. And when I come here, man, honestly, there is some people I want to see. But I also say, okay, I don't want to see anyone.
But it's also with our lifestyle. We meet so many people.
Yeah, man. When I leave from here, I'm
energies,
in a group tomorrow. Boom. And for 10 days, I can be 12 hours a day.
With people.
Yes.
We need our silence, you know. It's impossible to stay sane if you are always with people. And that's something also that is happening. Like, we're always interacting, yeah? And at a certain point, you have to just close your curtains, switch off your phone.
It's so necessary. But in WhatsApp, people know me, and people know me, it's the guy, the fiery guy comes and bam, boom, boom. But it's what I said to you, you know, all my life, I will be like this. I had always two phases. I can be to my friends, no, I don't want to see anyone for a week, and I will be alone in my house in Athens. And even here, I come, and for weeks, I only be with the dogs and the kids, the dogs, the cats, and the kids.
I totally understand you.
You know.
Mr. Takis, this has been such a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Oh, I love you, brother.
Yes, I love you.
And guy, you don't know this paradise here where he is. This guy, I don't know if you know, but thank you so much.
Thank you for listening.